Good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to this week's Weekly Energy Boost. My name is Elisheva, and I am here this Sunday, surprise Sunday morning. We'll explain why we're here on Sunday morning in a minute, with my husband, actually, because...
Yeah, why are we here on a Sunday morning?
It's very, very annoying. And, well, no, of course, we're very happy to be here with you and excited for this week, actually giving you an extra day to tap into the energy of this week. Today we're talking about, the title of today's episode is Meet Your Unmet Potential. And if you've been listening for the last few weeks, you know that the month of Virgo and the month of Libra, we're right now, today's the 9th day of the month of Libra. So we're in this procedure that began 39 days ago, where we are creating the blueprint for our year to come. Tomorrow is the culmination of that, and then we go into the final edit stages, and then the building begins. So the peak of that process is actually tonight and Monday. If you're listening on Sunday or Monday, that's what you'll be experiencing that with us. But we're going to focus the rest of the episode on understanding the rest of the week as well. But basically, it's the most positive day of the year, Sunday night to Monday night, the 10th to the 11th. And what we're allowed to do, or what the universe does for us basically, is we are inundated with so much light, so much energy, without restriction, without just the flow it's a bombardment of energy that essentially blasts away, disintegrates any remaining negativity that we might have not revealed or discovered in the last 39 days. And we are in a way kind of like suspended animation or animated suspension, depending on who you ask. And it's like time stands still. Yeah, you might still need to walk the dog and do all the things that you need to do, but it is the highest point we reach spiritually in the year. And sometimes there can feel like a little bit of a drop off. Tuesday through Friday might be a little bit of a letdown, energetically speaking. But the reason we're, of course, doing the episode early is so that for those of you who listen early, you can capture that. But also so that if you are participating in the meditations and the prayers and the connections on Monday, which is called Yom Kippur, that you're free to do that without needing a podcast to help you do it. And then, of course, the rest of the week, and it's not a coincidence that the universe set it up this way, is that we are building a reservoir, in a way, of an energy called mercy, an energy, it's right column in Kabbalah, or this easy. We've maybe been in a harsh period of these last 40 days of the scrutiny and the accounting, some people call it reckoning. And then now we're in this like, chill, man. It's all good.
It's the week of love.
Peace, love, and understanding, right? So once Monday night is over, we enter a new phase for this week and a new phase for the coming week. And that's really what we want to talk about, because it's in understanding the opportunity of this week and next that we really unlock more of our potential.
Right. So I'd like to offer a perspective about it, that if you're a parent, you can probably relate to that. And if you're a child, which you are, to your parents, you can also relate to that.
Isn't that interesting that you can choose to be a parent, but you can't choose to be a child? I never thought about that before. That's pretty profound.
Very deep. So a parent wants his child or her child to be the best version of themselves, whatever that means. And this week, and it's actually starting from Monday night, starts a journey that will go also throughout, will also trickle down to the next week, that allows us to receive from, if we look at it like as a parent-child relationship, all the tools and all the downloads that we need. We're not even aware that we need them, because we have no idea how this amazing year is going to look like. But it's like a parent that is preparing his child, I don't know how you want to see it, like to college or whatever that is, equipping us, equipping us with all the tools and all the downloads and all the consciousness that we're going to need for this coming year. So the way the Kabbalists like to share about it is that with every, there's the saying, right, that with every responsibility, with every great responsibility also comes the blessings, which is very true in the Kabbalistic perspective, that the moment I'm going to choose, the moment I'm choosing to take more responsibility, which is the ability to respond, to expand my vessel, whether it's by bringing a child to the world, taking a new position, taking an upgraded role in my family, in my job, in my personal development, the moment you take more responsibility, you're also going to receive the download that is equivalent, one of my favorite words, equivalent to the responsibility that you took. And this is why many people say that with every new child, you have more blessings, with every new job. I remember going back years ago, that Karen, our teacher, called me to her office and asked me if I will be willing, if I'm ready to take upon myself the next role. And I said, honestly, I'm not. I don't feel that I'm ready. And I really asked for a blessing from my teacher to have the consciousness, because I have no idea how am I going to do it. And funny enough, the moment you say yes, starts a new journey that, just like becoming now a parent or starting something new that you have no idea how to do, and just the download happens and the consciousness is awakened. So in a similar way, starting from Monday night, we actually said yes until Monday, that we are willing to take upon ourselves the next level of revelation of light that we meant to be revealing. And starting Monday night starts the download. Now the download happens in two phases. One download is called inner light, which is happening from Monday night until Friday night, actually until Saturday. And starting from Friday night is what is also known by the Kabbalists as the surrounding light. The inner light is a battery. Is the inner battery, is the energy within us, the energy of life for the coming year in every single aspect of our lives. Relationships, love, prosperity, abundance, spiritual growth, you name it. And from Friday night begins also, okay, we're not only equipping you with the, that's going to be my new favorite word, we're not only equipping you with the internal energy that you're going to need, with the insights, with the downloads, with the understandings, with manifesting in the best way. Now we're also going to connect you with your potential. And that's what's happening on Friday night.
Okay. So I think most people who are on a spiritual journey are already consciously looking for their purpose, looking to live a life of meaning, a life where they feel they're contributing, or they're aware to whatever degree that their transformation is part of the journey on the planet. What I don't think most people realize, and I want to talk more about surrounding light in a minute, but when we talk about fulfilling your potential, it tends, at least for me, and again, I'm an American of a certain age, fulfilling my potential conjures up ideas or images of doing more or being more effective or being more. And I want to make sure that we at least give a minute and a half to the Kabbalistic understanding of potential. Not only do the Kabbalists say, yes, as you grow, you can do more, you can accomplish more, you can be more. Their focus is less on the doing and accomplishing and more on the experience of joy and fulfillment. And I want to make sure that that's really clear to everyone, that we're not talking here about productivity and you're going to contribute more to society and society is going to go further because of you. From the Kabbalistic point of view, the fact that you have not met your potential yet, that you do not even fathom how great you can be, what they're really saying is you have no idea how fulfilled you can be, how happy you can be, how connected you can feel, how creative you can feel, how in control and powerful, and how much peace of mind you can have, because you are settling for the level of joy, fulfillment, peace of mind, control, etc. that you feel right now. And even though you may have grown tremendously, not only this year, last year, I'm sure if you look at who you were 5 years ago, you can't even believe where you're at now. You haven't even begun to touch the tip of the iceberg of the potential joy and fulfillment you can experience. And the Kabbalists teach, by the way, I'm going to actually give it like I don't even think I've ever said it in such a short sentence before. The purpose for which we were created is to become one with the Creator. The Creator is light, love, joy, happiness, health, success, confidence, all of the good you can imagine in the world. That is what the Kabbalists define as the Creator, or the light force of the Creator. All of our work is simply transforming the things that are not like the Creator to be more like the Creator. That's it. That's why we're here. So the more we experience the light force of the Creator in our lives, the happier, the healthier, the more confident, all those things will be. So all of the external stuff is either a result of distraction, you're focusing on the wrong things, distress, which is an effect. When you're distressed, it means you're not in the present. You're worried about something in the past, or how something how something happened in the past, or how it's going to happen in the future, or you're disconnected. I like those three words. It's distraction, distress, or disconnection. Those are the reasons if we're ever not in alignment with our soul, with the light force of the Creator, it's because of distraction, distress, or disconnection. And when we will reduce those three things in our lives, the result will be greater fulfillment, happiness, joy, feeling good, feeling aligned, feeling in the flow. And looking at what it means, yes, you could probably do more and be more and have more, but those are all side effects of being more fulfilled.
Can you say again the 3 Ds?
Distraction, which is focusing on the wrong things, right? Success, focusing on things in the material often create a disconnect or a distraction from the goal, which is revealing the light of my soul. Distress, which is not being present, being focused on something from the past or from something in the present, in the future. And disconnect, which simply means reactive, behaving not like the opposite to the light, opposite to my soul, operating from my ego. And I don't know if some of you may have come across this a number of years ago. Shonda Rhimes wrote a book called The Year of Yes. I was very inspired by it. You can also watch, she has a great TED Talk about it as well, very famous. And basically she decided for a year, Shonda Rhimes is the one who did Scandal and Grey's Anatomy, and she's a very famous person in Hollywood, where everyone's sleeping right now. No, I'm just kidding. So she said that she decided for 365 days she was going to say yes to everything. But when you hear it like that, you think, well, that's lame. She probably was burnt out and upset at everybody and was a doormat. Her goal wasn't to be a doormat or to say yes. It was actually to say yes to everything that made her uncomfortable or that she was afraid of. And that, paradoxically or ironically, is really what the Kabbalists say is the key to unlocking your potential. That and maybe it's a little bit cliche, like, what do they say? There's no traffic on the extra mile, or there's another cliche about everything is outside of your comfort zone, or I don't remember what it is exactly, but the truth is that it's in that place of discomfort or going against your fears or going against what's difficult for you that little by little you unlock your potential. And that's where this idea of the surrounding light comes in.
Right. And I'd like also to add that the idea behind the productivity, spiritual productivity, is about becoming a human being, not a human doing.
We talked a little bit about
Right?
that last week when Yehuda Ashkenazi was here.
So it's really becoming a human being that allows you to be, to have the experience. And yes, it's also a bit counterintuitive because many of us throughout the years from early childhood, we might be programmed to be doing. Doing it means you're alive. You're not doing anything. Even we ask, how do you do? Right? We don't ask like...
what do you do? What do you do for a living?
Oh, what do you do? We don't ask, how are you being?
Oh, how are you doing? We say, how are you being?
Yeah, how are you being? It's all about the doing, right? So there's the thing, right? There is a gap. I don't want to say disconnect, but there is a gap between who you are now and who you meant to be, not who you meant to do, to be doing, to whatever you meant to be doing. There's a gap between who you are now and who you meant to be. And that place, the bridge between who you are now and who you meant to be, is represented by your surrounding light. The surrounding light is your ticket, it's your transportation to become to reveal the light that you meant to be this coming year. In other words, without the surrounding light that we are receiving starting from Friday night for a full week, an individual has no chance to fully connect with with who they're meant to be this year. In other words, it's like a roulette. Someone is playing a roulette. You're going into your car, you're starting to drive, and you have no idea where you're going. Because you don't know if you're supposed to get to point A to point B. You don't have a destination. The surrounding light represents the destination. By the way, you might be completely convinced that you meant to do X or Y or Z, but that doesn't mean that that's what you meant to be doing or being this coming year. So just to be clear, this is our only ticket, and this is why this week is so important, and it's also bridging into the next week. It's pretty much, I know we say it probably many times, it's pretty much the most important week of the year, because without the destination and without the route to get to the destination, an individual can just be wandering around for a full year, and it's not a pleasant feeling to be wandering around.
Okay, so let's talk about some more practical. How do we connect and unlock more of our potential for the coming year? I can tell you what I learned, and then
Yes,
please.
please,
Okay.
sure.
So this kind of goes back to what we said a few minutes ago about we're here to become as light-like as we can be. One of the ways that we, during this week specifically, this week and next, that we awaken a greater potential. So let's say, for example, in the coming year, based upon who you were last year, your potential is at a 5. Maybe you're at a 3 now, and you can grow to a 5 this year, according to what you've done and how you've behaved and what you've earned. If you want to go to a 7 or a 10, or even let the dial be unlimited, really, The Kabbalists teach that we need to express kindness and sharing in everything that we do. Like literally let's say for the next 10 days or so, you want to be as kind and as sharing as you've ever been.
Exactly. You want to be being.
Right.
Being of
It is
sharing.
not, sometimes people say, somebody just called me and asked me to drive them somewhere. Should I do it? A person outside of my Starbucks asked me for $5. Should I give it? It's not about that. It's not about what you do. It's about how you are. And that's why it's not only important to be kind and sharing to other people, to individuals. We want to shift into a kind and sharing space toward the world. And I don't know if you've ever woken up and somebody's annoyed you, or you got an email that you didn't want, or somebody's dog pooped on your lawn and, didn't pick it, whatever. You have all these different little irritations and, again, this, and now we have a Monday meeting, and then, you have all the little things that eventually pile up into a bigger, badder day. Your whole outlook to every email, to all the dog poop, to everything else that pushes your buttons needs to be one of kindness and sharing. The dog owner must have really been in a rush for them to have forgotten the poop. You know what? I'm going to bring donuts to the meeting and see if I can shift the narrative on the usual mood. Or to find ways to be ridiculously kind and sharing.
What helps me in those days to connect with that is the thought. It's actually two thoughts. One is, it's coming to a question to you, Elisheva, my dear wife.
Mm-hmm.
So out of, let's say, 10 times that you download the next software for your phone, how many of those times can you operate the phone while you update your software?
Never.
Okay.
Which is quite irritating, actually.
So when we talk about being during this time, it's doing things, being things a little bit differently than the regular times of the year. So you want to be more in a state of allowing. So it's those two modes. The second thought is related to the energy of sharing, which is connected to this. How do you allow the flow of energy of how do you allow the download to happen? That leads to the second thought. The second thought, which allows you to be, is the question that helps me is if I have right now all the money that I need, all the money in the world that I need, all the time that I need, all the health that I need, all the love that I need, all the insights that I need, all the spiritual growth that I need. Okay, how do I operate? How am I being from that place? And that allows me, if I have all the time, all the money, all the energy, all the health, all the spiritual insights, I'm just a being of sharing because I don't need to worry about anything. So if you have this question, if I have everything that I ever need right now, how do I conduct my day? How am I being this day? Not how am I doing this day? So again, two parts. One part, it's essential to allow the download to fully take place. You cannot interrupt. Interrupting means that you're going now into worries, you're going into doubts, you're going into doing. This is actually those next coming 10 days, they're actually days that sometimes not doing, sometimes just being, sometimes canceling all your meetings. I know it sounds a little bit like, what are you talking about? Right? And just operating throughout the whole day with this mantra, I have everything that I need. Now, how am I conducting my day? How am I being this day? These two together allows you to maximize your download. And allows you have to set the course. You cannot just start driving with a navigation system. I'm not going to promote anyone in particular. You're not going to start navigating, driving before it shows you where to go. Right, left, how far you need to go. Don't just say, I'll start driving and I'm going to get there. It's like someone that gets something from, a certain place to put together, like a table or a very special instrument, and they say, you know what, I'm not going to look at the instructions. I'm just going to start playing with it and let's see where it takes me. And, a few hours down the road, you could have saved so much precious time and energy if you just looked at the instructions before you would start to say, okay, let me, I'm gonna put it together. I'm good. I'm good in doing those things.
You need the manual, is what you're saying.
Exactly, the manual.
Okay, so the second recommendation from the Kabbalists to access more of our unlimited potential is to be happy. To be, the word they use is actually joy. To be joyful. And I think it's very much connected to what you said about canceling your meetings and just being, because in today's day and age, we usually need something outside of us to bring us joy. And the greatest fulfillment that I think any of us experience is when we overcome something, right? And I had a session earlier this week, and I invited everybody to sort of think about how the person they were before would have done things differently, would have been more reactive, jumped the gun, jumped to conclusions, interrupt, whatever the old you used to be. It's not only okay, it's necessary for you to recognize how far you've come to also be able to tap into the rest of the distance, to realize, wow, look at how far I've come. I can look at how far I can go. And those moments where you look back, maybe you'll call it pride. To me, I don't. It's not ego based, because it's not about how powerful I am or how much I've overcome. It's the fact that I am really different. I am not the person I was, I think I said it a few minutes ago, 5 years ago. I am not that person anymore. That person, now that I'm where I am, I can see how that person was half the person, maybe even less, eighth of a person that I can actually be. And I know I haven't arrived yet. I'm not the finished product, but I just can see in a very fulfilling and feeling fortunate way. That's the word, not fulfilling. To feel so fortunate to have what I have, even if I want more. And that's kind of the dance that the Kabbalists talk about, that we're meant to not only have infinite desire, we're also meant to have infinite gratitude. And the two are actually what creates a greater vessel for even more potential goodness. But what's interesting for me is that when the Kabbalists talk about that idea of surrounding light, it's not only unmet potential, it's also unearned light. Like the universe is constantly trying to give me more than I deserve. And when you sit and you realize, I could never possibly earn all the blessings I have in my life. And even if you feel like you're missing some blessings, like there's room for more, the reality is we each have so much more than we could possibly ever work for, that how can you be anything but joyous? And this is really the time to connect with that space as much as possible. Like, look at, it's a mentality. It's a joyous mentality. It's a kindness mentality. It's a sharing mentality that allows the expansion from 3 to infinity.
And I'm going to share something that probably many people don't know. Joy is your second name. And
it's my middle name. My parents
it's your middle name.
gave me the middle name of Joy, not second name.
But I totally agree with what you shared, because really when we are joyful, when we are happy, and the universe is designed to mirror our consciousness, then the Creator is saying, oh, you're happy about this, you're happy, it comes also from a place of appreciation. Then the creator is saying, well, you're happy about this, wait till I give you the rest that I'm planning to give to you. So when we choose joy, and by the way, this is not just talk. It's not easy to choose joy. Maybe it's something we want to pray for every day, to be happy with unconditionally, regardless of whatever it is that happening, to be happy, happiness that does not depend on anything. It's something that we can ask for, we can meditate for, especially around this time. For example, it's not happy when someone has a medical challenge. It's not easy to be happy. Not easy. The more uncomfortable it is, the more the person is not feeling good. It's not easy to be happy. Because when someone is undergoing certain pain, it's in the background. It's continuously happening, or it's coming in waves. So it's not always easy. That's why I would say to come from a humble place of not taking it for granted, to really be able to ask and pray and meditate for that happiness. But the moment, and it starts with even awakening, maybe even fake it till you make it. Maybe put I think we discussed it in the past, maybe even create for yourself like a dance playlist, and do some dance moves. And doesn't have to be in front of other people, but it can be even in front of the mirror, or just do something that is lightening you up. The joy can come right after as a result, because the Zohar, the main text of Kabbalah, teaches us that when you awaken something from below, it also awakens something from above. So when you create the joy, when you awaken even a spark, it's like igniting a battery in the middle of the road, right? That it's not responsive, and you ignite it. It's enough just for a spark for the car to fully start again. So we have an opportunity really to create, even to awaken a spark of joy. That spark will draw more and more of that energy to come to our lives. So yes, sometimes you need to fake it till you make it, or even watch something that is really funny, or do a laughing yoga, or just laugh. Even do a fake laugh, or fake, just stretch your cheeks, fake smile, and it will release the endorphins that you're looking for. So whatever that is, whatever it is, your trick, if you're not naturally happy, most of the people are not.
I think the Kabbalists even say, it's not easy to be connected to that energy of joy all the time. But if you find one thing that you are grateful for, that makes you happy,
gratefulness awakens happiness.
It helps to shift your vibration into a space. We talked about it a couple months ago, that when you look for something, you see it. If you go shopping for a car, then suddenly everybody's driving that kind of car. So that's why if you look for the blessings in your life, you will see more blessings. If you look for the beauty in the world, you will see more beauty in the world. If you look for the reasons to be joyful, you will have more reasons to be joyful.
I love it.
I thought you were going to say, I love you.
I love you.
I love you too. So that's it in a nutshell, and we'll be back next Monday to share more secrets about the energy of the week, of course, and how we can, because we're still in that procedure of activating all of the light that we do.
I'm curious who's going to be here next week.
I don't know if we know yet. Surprise, surprise, surprise. That's one of the great things about the Weekly Energy Boost. You never know who's going to be on with me. Weekly Energy Boost is available on all podcast platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You can visit our website, weeklyenergyboost.com, to learn about all the things we think are interesting and all the people who we think are interesting. You can also click the donate button and help make this podcast possible, as well as reviewing on wherever you're listening. You can pause now and give us a little review, rate us, and of course, most importantly, share this episode with someone who has a great potential and needs a little boost to do more. I hope you'll join me again. Not just our listeners, but my guests this morning.
I'm looking forward to the next future times.
Planning to take over the world. Have a fabulous week, and we'll see you next time on the Weekly Energy Boost.